Recent opinion pieces are criticizing President Biden over all of this. One reads about those non-terrorist Houthis. A U.S. warship is forced to defend itself against Iran's Yemen militia. Another failure of Biden administration deterrence. Another with this: President Biden must face reality. It's time to act versus Iran. Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner of the Israeli Defense Force, spokesman, is with me here. Colonel, it really is confusing when you look at what they're doing, and yet our government isn't necessarily calling them terrorists. What's your take on us getting hit in the Middle East?
So obviously, it's not for me to judge the U.S. position and the U.S. administration's activities. What we are seeing throughout this region is that Iran is a bad actor, which is probably an understatement, and they are definitely involved in everything that is bad that is happening in the last 2 months. Iran has guided Hezbollah to conduct attacks against Israel from Lebanon. We've seen the Houthis' actions, which are hostile towards Israel and towards U.S. presence in the region. So indeed, there is a huge challenge, but I would weigh on the Secretary of Defense Lloyd's words and say, we won't tolerate attacks on our people, and we will exert costs to those that try and hurt our people.
Israel right now is entering a new phase in the war against the Hamas terrorists. Let's watch and listen to this. And Colonel, what we're watching is some video of the IDF expanding its ground and air operations into southern Gaza now, hitting 200 terror targets, we're told, overnight. Before that, the military declared Khan Yunis an active combat zone and dropped leaflets telling people to get out, evacuate. Still, the Biden administration is raising concerns about civilian casualties. Vice President Kamala Harris sounded a bit like she was telling Israel how to protect itself. Let's watch.
Hamas is a brutal terrorist organization, which is why we support Israel's legitimate military objectives to eliminate the threat of Hamas. As Israel defends itself, it matters how. The United States is unequivocal. International humanitarian law must be respected. Too many innocent Palestinians have been killed.
What's your response to that?
Well, Harris, we are very attentive to the administration, to our military counterparts as well. And of course, we are learning from the lessons that the U.S. military has made in its battles in the region, whether it's Afghanistan or Iraq or against ISIS. And indeed, we are learning from those lessons, and I would say developing on them. Our operations are absolutely within the realm of the laws of armed conflict. They are targeting the terrorists wherever they are hiding, and they are distinguishing precisely because it is our professional and military, and I would say also moral obligation, to distinguish between the terrorists and non-combatants. That is our role. That is exactly how we're doing it. When we are calling people to evacuate from a specific location, it's because there is a center of gravity that requires us to deal with them in specific locations. And I won't go in for obvious operational reasons, specific locations, but indeed, wherever Hamas are hiding, and we know, we've shared with you, and Fox has covered this extensively, we've seen exactly where Hamas is putting its capabilities: beneath hospitals, in schoolyards, in scout clubhouses, in kindergartens, in mosques, beneath the ground, above the ground, everywhere around the ground. So indeed, it poses a strategic challenge for any professional military that abides by the laws of armed conflict. And indeed, we will continue to do so. We will do it, but we will protect ourselves. We can't be expected not to defend ourselves because Hamas is hiding back behind the people of Gaza.
Do you feel that the United States is putting extra pressure on you now? I mean, when you hear Vice President of the United States say that you've got to abide by certain things, are you being preached to?
I think what is important, we also missed that, and what we did hear also, Vice President Harris also saying that Hamas has to go. And we're all in agreement that the end state of this war needs to be a better security reality for Israelis and Palestinians alike. As I said, we are attentive to what the administration is telling us. We know how to conduct our operations. We are improving on our operations in order to limit civilian casualties, precisely because we are attentive. But we are determined to change the paradigm and make sure Hamas never has the power to govern the Gaza Strip and never has the ability to wield that sword of death above our heads ever again, because we know what they will do if they do have it. They will
we've
chop it
already
off.
seen it, and they've told us that there could be more coming. Just real quickly,
They promised time and time again.
I want to just get your take on some of the criticism that's come, that there were things that were known about a potential attack before October 7th. Can you tell me what is being discussed that you can share at high levels about that?
Well, obviously, the IDF is very, very concerned, and we feel and we have quite clearly let down the people of southern Israel and all of the people of Israel that are on the front lines, but not only there, because it touches every single one of us. I have friends that have fallen in the last 2 months. I have family members. I have cousins. Everybody is touched by this huge tragedy. And indeed, there are failures of intelligence, failures of strategic essence, and also failures on the tactical level. There will be a time to investigate. And the IDF and the chief of IDF staff, or the IDF chief of staff, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi, took personal responsibility for the failures. But today we are focused in fighting the enemy. There will be a time for learning our lessons. There will be a time to investigate. There will be a time for accountability. Now is not the time. Now is the time to beat Hamas, to make sure that October 7th can never happen again.
Lieutenant Colonel Lerner, I appreciate your time very, very much. Thank you for being in focus.
Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.